Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is something that can affect facial mobility and can happen overnight, out of nowhere, and can be very challenging in terms of handling it. I'm talking about Bell's palsy. I'm not going to define what it is. She's a professional. She'll give you more on that. However, along the way, we're going to learn how acupuncture can support Bell's palsy. Again, I say this every time I get together with her. All those things that acupuncture can support, I never knew. I'm sure you would say the same. We learn more every time we get together with our professional of the year, Dr. Kelly out of New York City, acupuncturist, Chinese medicine expert, herbalist, joins us once again. How are you doing today, Dr. Kelly?
I'm doing good, Steve. How are you doing?
Very well, very well. Before we go anywhere here, Bell's palsy, how do you define that?
So Bell's palsy, what it looks like, the symptom is half of the face kind of like dropping. They couldn't close their eye, they couldn't close their mouth. So half of the face looks different with the other side. That's the symptom. And in Western medicine, usually they think it's virus infection. So in the facial nerve, so usually Western doctor will give them antiviral medicine, will give them cortisol steroid, medicine to reduce the inflammation. That's the Western medicine way to treat it. I have some patients who got Bell's palsy. They said they went to hospital, they got the medicine, but their face still looks different. They may also have like a jaw pain, like their face looks different, feel different.
I know somebody from way back whose wife got Bell's palsy and it happened. And I don't know if there was a pre-existing situation. I don't believe so, but she fell asleep with her face against the car window in the winter. So it was cold. And from that point, Bell's palsy developed. Um, I didn't know it was connected to a virus. And I mean, that might have been an isolated situation. I just don't even know how that could have taken place. But still, to your point, the paralysis, the restriction of movement, all of that, definitely challenging. What is if it's not acupuncture, what is the normal course of treatment when you have Bell's palsy?
Okay, Steve, you give a perfect example. Actually, you said the friend falling asleep next to the car window because it's cold, it's winter. Actually, one of the pattern is wind cold invading to the facial nerve.
Wow.
Basically, right? Winter, cold, wind, window. That's happened to the other patient who is, I think, a 22-year-old boy. So is on that day he got a vaccine. Then somehow he felt so hot, he opened the window. He slept with the window open whole night. Next morning, he got the Bell's palsy.
Wow. it's, it's pretty concerning. Um, so once that nerve is affected, or the nerves in your face from the cold, how do you undo that? If it's not acupuncture, what would take care of that? And is that also a virus situation, or that's just the something that's affecting the nerve?
Well, in Western medicine, they think it's a virus. That's why people will be given antivirus medicine. They also give cortisol steroid medicine to reduce the inflammation in the nerve. But to some patients, that medicine is not enough. They still have the symptom. Their heart face still dropping. So in Chinese medicine, we treat in a different way. In Chinese medicine, we don't talk about the virus. We don't talk about bacteria. We talk about the wind. We talk about the cold. So if the cause is wind cold, we simply, you know, pacify the wind. We make the wind going away. We disperse the cold, make the cold going away. In that way, the patient will, their face will be like lift up, basically back to normal.
How interesting that every time we get together, we talk about the temperature of things and how it has a major impact. One of them being beverages. And I would say multiple times a week now, I talk with people and mention you about having warm beverages only or room temperature, no cold. And there are some that have even heard that within Chinese medicine. So now here we are. Bell's palsy can be caused by the cold. Um, what do we do when it comes to acupuncture? How do you treat somebody?
So in acupuncture, I will use some local points on the face. For example, if on the left, the face is dropping, I will put some points on the left side of the face. So, uh, of course, we're going to talk about the channels, right? Because on the face, there's stomach channel, there's large intestine channel, there's small intestine channel. We put the points on the face. And also, we will use some distal points, like for stomach, for large intestine, to disperse the vein. Usually patients have an underlying condition. Like for example, some people may have like very weak stomach spleen underlying before they got the Bell's palsy. It's like if you're strong enough, even you're exposed to a person who got like COVID, you may not get affected because you're strong enough. But if you're weak, you already have a weak spleen or weak lung, you may get affected easily.
Mm. And that's what I said before, even in the case of my friend's wife, that I didn't know if it was a pre-existing condition, that there was something already there. Then the cold, call it the perfect storm, and now we have a challenge. Now we have a challenge in terms of mobility. So when you meet somebody, you're finding certain points, meridians to put the acupuncture needles in.
Yes, yes, on the face. There are actually a lot of points on the face. Usually I make a joke like, usually I use this point for people who come in for facial rejuvenation. But if people have either Bell's palsy or, some people may have the twitching of the eye on one side, I will use the points on the face. I said you get a bonus because usually the face will look better, like more shining, have better color, the wrinkle that may, if they have a wrinkle, the wrinkle may like disappear or reduce. So they look younger and more beautiful.
Wow. So what's the reasonable expectation? If somebody has Bell's palsy, they come to you, you treat them. Could it be one treatment and now they're pretty much cured of it?
So usually depends. Like for example, if a person got a Bell's palsy today, they come in right away. That may take shorter time to recover, maybe 3 treatments or two. But if a person already got it for a week or even longer, that may take a longer time.
Have you ever encountered somebody with Bell's palsy that you treated and maybe relieves some of the restriction of mobility, but not able to take care of all of it? Is that possible?
Um, the person I treated basically back to normal. You cannot tell he got
Wow.
Bell's palsy before. Yeah, I'm surprised can recover so quickly.
Wow. This is amazing. Because somebody could go for a long period of time will not be able to move a part of their face. Um, let's go into what's actually going on when you treat somebody. You find certain points. Is it always the same point, or it depends on where the person's mobility issues are? That's where you put the needles in?
Um, Usually on the face, the points might be a little bit like everybody got some points the same. But of course, check the pulse, check the tongue, ask questions. For the body points, gonna be different. Like for a person who has qi and blood deficiency, we're gonna tonify the qi, tonify the blood, because the person is weak. That's the reason why he or she got Bell's palsy. So for a person who got vein heat, we need to clear the heat. So different reason gonna use different points.
Are you able to tell what caused it? Like, for example, somebody comes before you. Now we have one situation where it's cold. We have another situation where somebody got a virus. Both of them cause Bell's palsy. When somebody comes before you, just by doing your evaluation, looking at the tongue, checking the pulse, maybe if something else, are you able to tell, oh, yeah, that came from a virus? Is that pretty clear?
Um, well, virus is a Western medicine term, basically. We don't really use it, but of course we mention about it because, we are living in a Western world. You know, Western doctors still, Western medicine is still the primary. So we
Wow.
will say yes, in Western medicine it's virus, but in Chinese medicine it's vein cold or it's qi and blood deficiency. So these two doesn't conflict. They can be, in the same line, just different in different term. So that way, that's okay. In Western medicine, it's virus. In Chinese medicine, it's vein cold. So we can treat. Doesn't matter what the Western medicine, what the Western term is.
I find that fascinating how these terms, these Western medicine terms, aren't even recognized in Chinese medicine, like virus. All right. So what are some other terms that you don't even say them? They don't even, it doesn't even matter. It matters to help somebody feel better through Chinese medicine. But what are some of the other terms, like the common cold? Do you even get a cold? Is that a term even used?
Well, common cold, actually, in Chinese medicine, we have wind cold. So we both have cold inside. And Western medicine also kind of like think maybe it be called cold, right? You went outside, it's windy, it's cold. You got cold. Well, in Chinese medicine, yeah, you caught cold because the cold get into your channels, maybe even get into your organs. So in that way, Western medicine, Chinese medicine doesn't conflict. We just have a different definition, different term.
Okay, let's go. Let's look at that a moment because we're talking about hot and cold and how that has a big impact on Chinese medicine. When somebody gets a cold, some believe that, moms always used to say, put on a jacket. It's cold outside. You'll get a cold. You're really not getting a cold. You're getting a cold virus or a germ or whatever it is. How do you verbalize that in Chinese medicine? That the common cold. What would you call that?
Um, for example, we have different layers, right? We have skin, then under the skin, we have muscle, we have fascia, we have bone, we have organ. So we have different layers in our body. So in Chinese medicine, basically when you got cold, the cold basically first went into your skin, then went into another level below the skin. We call it kind of like cutaneous. So then maybe went into the fascia, went into the muscle, went into, if deeper, it in the organ. So in this way, if it at the beginning, usually the cold not into the organ yet. It's a superficial kind of. So that's why in Chinese medicine we can use gua sha or cupping or acupuncture basically to remove the cold easily because it's superficial still. We can get the cold outside of your body easily. But if it's like okay, you already got cold for a week. You haven't come in for treatment yet. It may went into the organ. In that way, it's deeper. So we have to remove it from your organ. That's gonna take a longer time. So that's why I always tell my patient, if you feel you're catching a cold, don't worry, you can come in. I'm not worried I'm gonna got it from you because I don't really think it's because, oh, you got a virus, you got bacteria, you can pass down to me because I'm strong enough. I don't worry about that. That's the kind of a Western term. But in Chinese medicine, you just got cold. I just remove your cold. So your cold cannot really pass down to me, especially I'm strong enough. I have enough righteous qi in Chinese medicine because so if you have enough righteous qi, the evil qi cannot invade in your body.
Well, you even said before that you rarely get sick because your chi has been elevated. It's where it should be. Are you saying that based on the principles of hot and cold and how they affect us through the eyes of Chinese medicine, you're outside. It's winter. Um, let's say you weren't properly dressed. You went to a football game. You're out there for hours. You're feeling cold, but it's like, well, I gotta tough it up. I'm here for a few hours. I should have wore more layers. Is it possible when you're feeling cold that can cause illness if you look at it through Chinese medicine?
Usually, yes. Like if you, for example, if it's winter, you sit on the ground, you may feel cold, right? Because winter is cold, you sit on the ground.
Yep.
If you feel cold, that usually means the cold maybe already get into your body. But But if at this level you quickly get back home, for example, you can drink some ginger tea, hot ginger tea. You get rid of that cold right away. You may not even really get a cold. But if you didn't, you may really gonna get a cold.
I'm going to share something my mom used to say all the time when I was a kid, and I want your feedback. I would be on the ground, and she would say, "Don't sit on the ground. You'll get a cold in your stomach." Is that possible? Sitting on the ground can cause you to get ill.
Yes, yes. Actually, that happened to a lot of people. In the winter, for example, they just so tired, they just sit on the ground, they don't care. Then after they got back home, they got cold. Like I mentioned, if you like drink some ginger tea, like sweat, when you sweat, you basically mean you get rid of the cold. That's why in the summer, people should sweat because when you sweat, you get rid of the cold you may caught in the winter or in the fall. But now in the summer, everywhere has AC. Nobody is sweating anymore. So you cannot get rid of the cold. If you have some cold in your organ, in your body, deep inside, if you sweat, you can get rid of it. But if you don't sweat, you cannot. That's why I said don't sit in the AC room all the time in the summer. It's bad. Really, really bad.
Hmm. Is it a good thing to sweat? Like if
Yes.
you're, yeah, it is a good thing.
I mean, of course, not like huge sweat. That's not good either, right? Chinese medicine always talk about the balance. We don't talk about, oh, sweat is good. So like I had a patient, he was in the sauna for like half an hour or maybe even longer because he was there. Like another person went in, they forgot about time. After person get out of sauna, he almost passed out. Why? Because it's too much heat. He sweat too much. So that's why I said always be balanced. Cold is not good. Too hot is also not good. In balance, you can sweat a little bit, but of course not too much, not too long time. Like if you sweat for 5 hours, that's of course it's bad. But if you only sweat for about half an hour, I mean, if you're strong, you're healthy, that is good. You can get rid of some cold, but not too long. Like sitting in the sauna for more than 15 minutes, I don't recommend it to anyone.
Wow. And you've said that before about air conditioning. not being good for us. And I don't like it. I would rather be warm. I would rather live every day. This is just me, 85 and humid. I'm fine with it. I love it. It's all good. I being cold is not my thing. Even if even if you're in the car and there's, the AC is on, it's like a little bit, draft. I'd rather just open the window or whatever it might be. Wow. Anything else when we're talking about Bell's palsy, anything else that you want everybody to know in terms of that treatment, all of that?
So, acupuncture can help. Of course, their herbal formula can help, but doesn't matter herbal formula. Acupuncture get in treated as soon as possible. I'm not telling you don't go to the Western doctor. Go. You can go there, like take the antivirus medicine, take the whatever cortisol steroid the doctor gave to you. But at the meantime, go to a Chinese medicine doctor, get acupuncture, get herbal formula. In that way, you will recover much faster and sooner. If you don't, I saw people got bad potty for many years, their half face still looks very different with the other side.
Quite amazing. Um, I've learned so much from you, and even just the understanding of acupuncture supporting this. For many, they don't even know where to turn when Bell's palsy presents. I bet you acupuncture is probably the last thought that somebody even has to fix a situation like that. Dr. Kelly, what you're in New York City, obviously acupuncture need to be on site. You can support through Chinese medicine, consultation, even herbals and all of that virtually anywhere. But what starting point, what's the best way to find you?
They can call me 347-885-1865, or they can go to my website. I have a form they can submit on www.kelly121acupuncture.com, or they can send me email info@kelly121acupuncture.com.
Truly appreciate all the insight that you provide. And you make it easy and clear. I mean, this can get a little, woo, if you will, in terms of how this all works. But back to the beginning, this has been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. This is how people healed, and we're still talking about it today. Thank you so much for being here once again. Really appreciate it, Dr. Kelly.
Thank you, Steve.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.